Hi everyone, I'm Hannah and today we're going to do a Love Your Body flow. So this is especially written for myself after just finishing Christmas, when you're feeling like you've eaten just a little bit too much, or maybe you've had a few too many drinks, or you haven't exercised for a few weeks. This is a really good one just to get back to ourselves and to remind ourselves what our body is capable of and how it helps us in our day-to-day, and that we should be thankful for it and be a bit kinder to ourselves. So this is a flow that we're gonna focus a little bit on gratitude towards our bodies. So we're gonna start with our backpack on. So just around your brow line and your thumbs facing forward in the fabric. We stand underneath the rigging point. We're gonna bend our knees, butt hip width apart, bend and pushing into the hammock behind us in our stargazer pose. So just readjust as you may need to. Heel toe your feet out to just a bit further than hip width apart. We're gonna bring our arms nice and wide, stretching out our fingertips, eyes gaze towards the ceiling. We're gonna bend one knee at a time and come all the way over to one side and all the way over to the other. So really stretching the fingertips, gazing towards the ceiling, or if you're lucky enough to be outside, maybe to the sky or the trees. We'll take a few breaths here, just feeling how your body feels right now. Maybe if you have any little hang-ups or anything that you've been particularly feeling negative about, that's okay. Today, we're really going to focus on every time that you think something negative about your body, to try and bring it, or try to come to something positive that your body brings you. So I really don't want to harp on any of the negatives that we could be thinking, but for example, if maybe when you look at your thighs, they feel a little bit too big to you, or maybe it doesn't look exactly how you used to look a few years ago. But think about how powerful your thighs can be. Think about that they are working, they let you still walk around, they let you do this practice. And especially female bodies, where we really are so amazing, and it's something I need to remind myself a lot as well, because it is so easy for us just to be harsh on ourselves. So today this practice is all about positivity. We bring our hands onto the fabric, heel, toe, our feet together. We're about hip width apart. I'm gonna walk your feet just so you're underneath the rigging point. I'm just gonna turn so you can see a little bit better. I'm gonna bring our hands behind our back, clasp our fingers, and look up towards the ceiling. See if you can bend your back, really opening the chest, maybe even release your neck behind you. So coming to a really nice back bend here. And take a few breaths, maybe sway forward and back. We really want to love our body and really appreciate what it is that we can do with our body and that it allows us to do. Let's take a few breaths here, breathing it in, bending that back, exhaling it out. Bring our chin to our chest, our hands onto the hammock, and let's roll on up. We're going to come into the hammock now. So grabbing a hold of one edge of the fabric, fanning it all the way out. I'm going to come to our child's pose. So however you like to get into the hammock, I'm going to bring our thumbs into the fabric behind us. Take a few grabfuls, push down, and take a little seat. And fan the fabric so that the fabric is just behind our knees, making sure our arms are outside of the fabric behind us. Take a deep inhale, sitting tall, and exhale, bringing our shoulders in between the fabric. You may need to shimmy yourself in a little bit, and then just release your neck all the way down over your knees. Release the head. Maybe rotate your ankles one way, waking up that joint. And then let's rotate it back the other way. And as you're hanging here, come back to focus on our breath. Maybe you're gazing towards your knees and your tummy. And turn in any negative thoughts into a positive one. So we all have our own insecurities. Like for me, for example, my stomach has always been something that I am really insecure about, but we really need to think about the positives that it gives us. It lets us eat food, it lets us move. Without our tummy, without our sides, we wouldn't be able to move the way we do, especially in aerial yoga. And really think of the positives, how lucky we are that we have these amazing bodies that allow us to do all these amazing, exciting movements like aerial yoga. Let's roll it all the way back up. I'm going to bring both of our hands onto the right side of the fabric. Push out with our hands. I'm going to bring your right leg through, all the way through, so that your foot is all the way out. And bring the fabric to your knees. If you feel like you're sinking down a little bit, you can hold onto the fabric and pull up so that your butt isn't sinking super low. So from here, I'm going to bring the backs of your hands onto the fabric, onto your knees. You can rest your head against the fabric in front of you. And take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale it out through the mouth. So in these next three movements, next three poses, each pose that we get into, I want you to focus on one body part that you are thankful for and grateful for, that you like about yourself. So many times we look in the mirror, I know I do, and we only want to tear ourselves down and say the negative things. Why not? While we're doing this practice, focus on the things we like about ourselves. Maybe you love your hair, or your eyes, or your chest, or you love your legs, or your butt, or your shoulders and arms, whatever it is, pick one thing right now in this pose. Pick one thing that you're thankful for, and let's focus on that. Sit tall, inhale, and exhale it all out. Holding onto the fabric in front of you, we're going to push into the fabric, bring both feet against the pole in front of us. So you're coming into a bound angle pose with our feet together. Your feet can be higher up if that feels uncomfortable for you, or it can be all the way down close to your pelvis, up to you. So knees splayed out to the side, feet together pushed against the fabric in front of you. So this part here. Hands resting on your knees. Take a deep inhale. Think of one more thing. And exhale it out. And as you do so, focus on that one thing, the second thing that you're grateful for, second body part. As you exhale, release any tension in your hips, splaying those knees out to the side, sitting tall. Inhale and exhale. Okay, for our third pose of this, with these movements, we're going to extend our legs out in front of us. So option to stay where you were, or you can extend your legs out. It's a little bit easier with a double point, this one. So your legs are nice and straight with a really nice hamstring stretch here. And if you are here, see if you can wrap your arms around your thighs and just bow your head towards your knees. And let's focus on our third body part that we're grateful for. Inhale it in and exhale it out. 2 more breaths. See if you can release any tension in your hips here. Inhale and exhale it out. 1 more breath. Hugging in those legs. And release it out. Okay, so bring your hands back onto the fabric. Bring your legs down. All the way over to one side. Through one opening of the fabric. And let's hold on to both poles and come to stand up. I'm going to bring the fabric just around our shoulders and just release it down. So I'm just going to turn onto the side so it's easier for you to see. So we're going to release it down and bring all of our weight into our right foot and release our left, flexing that foot, dialing down the toes towards the ground, heel towards the ceiling, and engaging our abs, looking forward into our warrior 3 pose. So option to have your hands by your sides or out to the side or in front, whatever feels best for you. So take a few breaths here, staying strong. You can have a little micro bend in that standing leg if that feels good for you. Inhale, exhale it out. Inhale, knee to nose, hugging in that leg. Exhale, release it out. Inhale, hug it in. Exhale, release it out. 3 more of these. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And the last one. Inhale it in. Exhale it out. Hold. And then take a big bend in your front leg. Big step back. You can hold on to the fabric. Just readjust, coming to our warrior 2 pose. Our high lunge. And from here, we're going to release all of our weight into the fabric, making sure that your right knee is over your right knee is over your right ankle. Holding here with all of your weight into the hammock. Inhale, pull it up so that your weight's not in the hammock, you're using your legs, squeezing your thighs together, and release. Inhale, exhale. So a few breaths here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more. Inhale it up, exhale it down, inhale it up, exhale it down. Okay, inhale it up, place your hands onto the fabric, big step forward with the back leg. We're going to square our hips forward. Both of our legs are nice and straight, like train tracks. Hips forward, hinging at the hips. Bring the fabric to our elbows. Nice flat back, reaching forward with the chest. Coming into our pyramid pose. And then from here, once we've reached all the way forward, we're going to release our neck and our head down over our knee into our pyramid pose. We're going to squeeze both of our feet towards each other, squeezing our thighs. So you can't see any visible movement, but we're really pulling both of our feet back towards each other. Take a few breaths and release it down. With every exhale, see if you can bring your chest a little bit closer to that thigh. A really nice hamstring stretch. Inhale and exhale it down. Okay, taking a deep bend in our front leg. I'm going to release our left leg up behind us, putting all of our weight into our elbows, coming to our half split. So see how high you can get that back leg, trying to bring your chest towards your thigh, gazing towards the ground. Take a few breaths, staying strong, pushing that leg a little bit higher up, and then release the foot back to the earth. And let's slowly roll it all the way back up. Whew. Okay, let's stand back underneath the rigging point. Bring our fabric back to the front of our shoulders. Place all of our weight into our left foot. Bring your right knee up and back, releasing forward into the fabric. Release your hands down. Flexing that back foot, heel towards the ceiling, engaging that glute, holding our warrior three. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, hugging the knee to the chest. Exhale, release it out. Inhale, hug. Exhale, release. Inhale, crunch. Exhale, release. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Holding here, staying strong, gauging that glute. A big bend in the front leg. And coming to our warrior two. And readjust yourself as you need to. Bringing your left knee over your left ankle and releasing down into the fabric. Inhale, pushing out of the fabric. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, pushing up. Exhale, coming down. A few more of these. Engaging your abs here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come up, hands onto the fabric. And we're going to take a big step in with our back foot, squaring our hips off, bringing both of our legs nice and straight. Fabric comes to our elbows. Bring our chest forward, reaching forward with our chest. Flatten the back and releasing over our left hamstring. Really squeezing our thighs together, pulling both of our feet towards each other. And release that neck down. Taking a few breaths here. With every exhale, see if you can release the chest a little bit closer towards that thigh. And as you're in these poses, just take note of how you're feeling about yourself and your body. Are there positives or are they negative things that are coming up in your mind? If they're positives, hold on to them. If they're negatives, take note and then send it away. Replace it with something different, something positive. Bending, a big bend in the front knee. Put all of your weight into that foot. Release the right leg back up to the sky. Putting all your weight towards the fabric, chest towards the ground. Coming into our half split. Seeing how high you can get that back leg. Taking a few breaths. See if you can extend it a little bit higher. One more breath here. Staying strong. And let's release that foot back down. Hanging here just for a moment. And let's roll all the way back up. Whew, nice work. Okay, placing our hands onto the fabric behind us. I'm going to bring them up and over our head, holding on so we've got our little wrap on our hands here. Coming underneath the rigging point, bringing our feet about hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider. Inhale, exhale, release our arms out in front of us, really stretching to the other side of the wall. And let's sweep all the way to one side. And then all the way over to the other side. So with your breath, breathing all the way one side, all the way to the other. Really stretching with the opposite hand. So when you're on the right, really stretching with your left. When you're on the left, really stretching with your right. Two more breaths here. Breathing through it. Coming back to the center, and let's roll it up the spine, arching the spine, extending the arms in front of us into our cat. Dipping down the spine, eyes engaging up, bending the arms with our cow. And let's roll through these, cat and cow. Roll through the spine, whatever feels good for you. 2 more breaths here. And let's slowly roll it all the way back up and release the hands. Okay, we're going to come to our hip hang inversion. So bringing your hands into the sides of the fabric, pushing down, bringing your shoulders through. Fabric should be just underneath your hip bones. I'm going to hinge at the hips, fall forward. You can bend your knees here, release your hands down to the earth, and walk it out to a little bit of a plank. Just making sure that the fabric's underneath your hips. I'm going to tuck our knees in when you're ready, when you're there. And you can extend your arms out in front of you and add a little sway from side to side. Maybe rocking the pelvis forward and back. Get a little bit of a massage in your hips. Oh, that feels good. So, taking your option, either swaying from side to side or adding in that little massage. So you're just pushing into one hand at a time to make you rock. And when you're ready, see if you can release your legs out to a straddle and just sway from side to side. You can bring your forearms down onto the earth if that feels better. Breathe it in and exhale it out. Just letting yourself play and hang out for a moment. How does your body feel here? Just take note. Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? Do you feel strong? Do you feel weak? Whatever it is, just take note of that. And if you're feeling weak and a little bit heavy, just thank yourself for being on your hammock, for taking time when you feel that way, and being grateful that you chose to do that for yourself. And when you come back to the center, let's bring our legs nice and wide, bend at our knees, and bring our feet around the outside of the fabric. Let's come up onto our hands, walk ourselves forward, inching as far forward as we can. Inhale, and then exhale, release. Bring our chest towards the earth, and see if you can inch your fingers even a little bit further forward. And then release your forearms to the earth. And maybe add a little sway with the hips here as well. Just enjoy being upside down. Letting the hammock hold you. If you've happened to have a little break, or you're doing this just after Christmas or after a big holiday, maybe it feels extra good to be upside down. I know it does for me. Coming back up onto our hands, take a little more inches forward. Inhale, and exhale, push it back one last time, and release it all the way down onto the forearms, and let yourself sway once again. And when you're ready, let's release our legs out to a straddle, slowly bring them back down onto the earth. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Let's push up into a downward dog. And see if you can pedal out your feet. So you're pushing your thighs towards your chest, spreading out the fingers, really pushing into the pads of the fingers. Pedaling out those feet, feeling the stretch in your hamstrings and your calves. Pushing your sit bones to the sky. Inhale and exhale. Let's walk our hands to our feet to our hands, and then release into a forward fold, maybe grabbing the sides of our elbows and swaying from side to side. Shaking your head no, nodding your head yes. Breathe it in and exhale it out. Coming back to the center, and let's slowly roll it all the way back up until your head is the last thing that arrives back up. Okay, we're going to get to another inversion. So bringing the fabric behind you, we're going to come into our frog. So bringing the fabric, making sure it's around that fleshy part, just above your butt and below your hips. Taking a few steps back, putting all your weight into the fabric. A few steps forward so you're underneath the rigging point. Hands come up, knees come wide. Your feet up, around into a straddle. Feet come around the fabric and hook on. And let's bring our hands out to the side and just release it all down. Try to release any tension that you're holding in your hips, and in your ankles you can bring your feet together. So in this pose often we're really crunching up. See if you can release the tension. Keep your knees nice and wide, your feet together if possible. And just release it down. I encourage you in this pose to use any variation that makes you feel good about your body. Whether it's a handstand or a straddle or a pigeon pose. For me, pigeon pose is my absolute favorite. It makes me feel great about my body. So I'm going to start with that one. So if you want to come for a pigeon pose with me, bring your left leg out to the side. Rotate your hip back behind you. See if you can grab a hold of that foot, bending that back knee with both hands. And pushing into your hands with the foot, arching your back, and maybe shutting down the eyes. They're really pulling that hip down towards the earth. Inhale and exhale it out. So it's really important every now and then to choose a pose that makes you feel good about yourself. Maybe one that just feels extra good, or one that you're really good at, one that just comes easily to you. And just do that pose. That'll just get you in the mood, make you feel good about yourself and about life. Release your hands from that foot. Bring the leg back up and around onto the fabric. Bring your right leg out to the side. Rotate the hip back. Bend the back knee, grabbing a hold of that foot with both of our hands, if you can. Pushing in to your hands with that foot, arching your back, and shutting down the eyes, opening up the chest. Breathe it in and exhale it out. Our body loves us so much, does so much for us. We really need to love our own body. There's so many things that yoga, aerial yoga, exercise in general help us with, and one of those is feeling good in our own skin. And I think every now and then it's good to really focus on how far we've come, and that's what this practice is. It's a really nice one to really actually take note of where you are in loving yourself. Release that foot, bring it back onto the fabric. Stay here for a few more moments, just let yourself hang. Release into the hammock. Inhale and exhale it out. And when you're ready, bringing your chin to your chest, hands onto the fabric, legs come wide, pulling yourself up, bring your feet back onto the hammock, onto the ground. And we're going to bring the fabric to the front of our body, to the front of our shoulders, and just release our hands and our neck all the way down into the hammock. It's coming to our Ragdoll pose, and just swaying from side to side here. Really release the neck. Maybe feeling it tingling in your fingertips. And just sway it out, just for a few nice deep breaths. When you come back to the center, Let's slowly roll it all the way back up. Okay, we're gonna get into the hammock now. So grabbing a hold of one edge, fanning it all the way out, just like we did at the start of the practice. So bringing our thumbs into the fabric behind us, taking a few grabfuls, or if you'd like to do a little jump into your hammock or flip into your hammock, feel free to do so. Taking a few grabfuls, come onto our tiptoes and take a little jump, bringing the fabric behind our knees. We're going to bring our hands over our head, inhale. Exhale, bring our right hand forward, our left hand back into a little twist. Eyes gaze towards our back hands. Feeling how this feels right now, this little twist in the body. Inhale, hands come high. Exhale, turning to the opposite side, left hand comes forward, right hand comes back. Eyes gaze towards the back hands. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, swap to the other side, gazing towards our left fingertips. Dropping down the shoulders. Inhale to the sky. Exhale for the last time, coming back to the opposite side. And inhale it back to the front. We're going to bring our feet all the way into the fabric and release the fabric all the way over our head. Bring our hands over our head, stretching out the fingertips. Bring our hands together. We're going to crunch all the way over to one side, bringing our hands and our feet as close together as you can. Exhale, bring it all the way over to the opposite side. But with your breath, just taking a few of these little side stretches, one way and then the other. And then slowly coming back to the center and releasing your hands over your head or across your chest if that feels good for you. See if you can shut down the eyes and just take a moment to release your whole body and any tension you might have been holding in your body. Release it all down. Let the hammock hold you. Staying here, releasing any tension and bringing your focus back to how you're feeling right now. Back to how you feel about your body. I'm going to read out a few affirmations for loving your own body. And if any of these resonate with you, say them in your head or out loud after I say these words. I am not put on this earth to look a certain way or to please others. Taking care of myself feels good. I appreciate what my body does for me. The shape and size of my body does not define me. I only have one body. I need to appreciate it. I will say kind things to myself. My body deserves my respect and love. I am enough. I invite you to stay in your resting pose for as long as you need to today. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.